know when my mum sent me to Nigeria, do you know where I was going to have to go and get water from? I had to go and fetch water from the well. You know, like...
I wasn't allowed to use that in my country. I wasn't allowed. My mum's like, no, I'm not allowed to do that.
Hi people, my name is Nordin. I'm sure a lot of you already know what I do. I work here at Word in the Curb. And today we're filming another episode of Got a Problem. Yes. And I'm here with...
Hey, my name is Jamisha. I'm a filmmaker and I run a page called You Look Okay to Me for illness.
Hi guys, my name's Martin, aka Viral Babes, and I'm a social media personality.
I like your introduction.
Oh, thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Miss Demz. I am a celebrity hairstylist. I'm a personality. I'm a YouTuber. I'm just a babe.
Hi, I'm a queer Jamphy, founder of the British Blacklist and also 1/4 of Your Aunties Could Never podcast.
Hello, I'm Nana Evans and another quarter of Your Aunties Could Never podcast.
Hey, I'm Grace. I'm 21 and I'm a content creator from London.
Hi, I'm Laura Gaynor. I'm 23 and I'm on the board of directors for charity Voices Sia.
Hi, my name is Tara.
And I'm Adrian.
And we are Meet the Thorpes and we are content creators and we are back.
Back on Word on the Curb.
Yes.
So what are we here to do today?
Today we are here to watch some interesting videos and give our reactions.
Oh, I can do that. I like work.
Warnings of drought in England as soon as next month. The Environment Agency has released a statement following urgent drought talks that have been happening today. It says people across the country have been urged to use water wisely to protect water supplies and the environment during...
Look what we've done to the world. Look what we've done.
...the current period of prolonged dry weather. No.
What?
Preserving water.
Preserving water in the United Kingdom?
I was just thinking... Are we in Africa or...
Are we in Africa or are we like, what?
Preserving water.
No, you must be kidding me.
Anyway, let's see. I want to hear what they have to say.
Nowhere in England is currently considered to be in drought, and most water companies are maintaining good reservoir storage for summer demand. They go on to say if further measures are required, temporary use bans, more commonly known as, of course, the hosepipe ban, that will be determined by individual water companies, and drought permits and drought orders by the Environment Agency and DEFRA respect.
Here we go. All right. Now, I told you this heat was flipping phenomenally.
Oh my God,
like,
I
bad.
know.
So when I'm saying it's too hot...
Yeah, but you're not saying it's too hot because you're too hot.
You're
not
hot.
saying it's too hot because it's too hot.
It's both. I'm too hot and it's too hot.
But no,
like,
no,
we can't survive.
Let's separate this. It is hot and nice. I love it. But I also recognise
The world
that
is
it's
going to
dangerous.
pot. Okay,
right?
all right.
But when you say it's hot, you're just hot and you just want it to be cold. And I don't like that.
It's hot. It's hot. Right now, it's hot. My tracks are itching. That's how hot it is. It's hot. Are you hot?
Mad hot. I got some water in here and I got my rag here because the weather is moving like hot breath. It feels like someone going in my face.
Do you know what it feels like? It feels like just before Jesus told Noah about the ark. There's no rain right now. There's no rain.
This is fake news. Has to be fake news. No, sorry. It's all fear-mongering stuff. Drought in the UK.
In the UK.
I don't buy this.
I don't, yeah.
Nah.
I'm not being funny, but we have that whole River Thames.
Yeah.
Can we not filter something?
Something or do something. That is just weird.
But to be honest though, I can't lie. My neighbours, every day they're doing swimming pool. Why wouldn't we have droughts?
Yeah, true as well.
When they're doing... I understand.
But swimming is good though, babe. Swimming is nice. Having a little swimming pool with the kids.
But like, it's a stretch and they'll be making noise.
What were you doing when it was 40 degrees? Like that day? I'm sorry. The temperatures, what are we doing? Like, you know how they're like, oh, you know, we're not going to be around. And then that day made my whole life flash before my eyes. I was like, oh no, this is so urgent. Obviously we knew that, but you know when it's right on your doorstep, it was 40 degrees. in England, and you know it doesn't cool down in the evening either. What were you doing that day? Were you enjoying yourself, or were you frying?
Nah, I was enjoying myself.
Oh, you were enjoying yourself.
Maximum enjoyment. I stayed out that day. I think literally that day I stayed out until like 8 a.m.
You know, like the plagues in the Bible. You know, like the plagues. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's like basically something happened. Don't quote me. I need to read my Bible, but something happened and God unleashed plagues. It's got something to do with Moses. And I just low-key feel like this is happening again. But I also think the world is going to pot. Basically is what she's saying. We're going to run out of water.
Yeah, there's that. That's danger.
Maybe they should just even lock off the water.
They said something about water bans. They can ban the hose pipes. I don't care about that because we don't have a garden, so I don't care. But when they start saying, "Oh, you can only shower for up to a minute a day," are you crazy? So they can never tell. Sorry, no disrespect. A black person that you can only shower for 1 day, 1 minute a day. We need those full. Adrian showers. It takes him half an hour.
But inside it was worse because the houses here are designed to keep the heat in.
That is part of the problem, but the sun part for me. Actually, I'm photosensitive, so if I go outside, it makes me ill when it's too sunny. So I was just inside with minimal clothing, fan on, titties breathing, fan just blowing.
The fan, but my fan just started blowing warm air onto me eventually.
Oh, but you didn't see the TikTok where the woman, like, she got these rubber bands and attached lollies, like ice lollies to the fan, and you make your own air conditioner.
Oh.
Recommend.
And it goes on to say, however, recent abnormally high temperatures have exacerbated conditions resulting from lower than normal rainfall so far this year in many parts of England. Can't remember the last time we had proper rain, can you? The statement goes on to say that...
Can you remember the last time I had proper rain? Because I can recall the rain falling.
No, we did have it because it was on and off. I remember it was maybe a few months ago, there was like a bit where we thought we were going to have a warm April and it was just raining. It was bare raining, I think.
How long do you think we have on the earth? that literally sounds like doom and gloom.
What she meant to say is all you paupers, yeah, you guys should be managing the water so us rich people, yeah, we can continue living our best life. And because you know what? I feel like they always implement laws and rules for the rest of us and then they just live their lives.
Yeah. When they start using big words like drought, they don't know what drought is until they go to some of those other countries and there's literally nothing.
It's gonna be crap, but we have 1,000 years before we, like, humans start to just literally pop and explode walking down the street.
Because of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
So they want us to manage so it doesn't run out for them.
It's true.
I've seen this in many movies.
It's like the pandemic that showed me the most. Like one minute it was like a dire issue, then it was forget about it.
I feel like, I get it's been hot, it's been traumatic to sleep in, I get it. But it's almost like scaremongering. Like the same thing that they did with COVID, scaremongering. They're doing the same thing again.
On to say that Met Office forecasting is showing potentially several more dry weeks ahead, taking us well into August, particularly in the south and the east of the country. The EA and the Environment Agency and water companies are now enacting the early stages of their well-rehearsed and publicly available drought plans, and they are calling on anyone to do their bit in managing water use.
Do you have drought plans?
I don't.
Do you waste water?
I feel like you're shaming me.
It's been raining,
Yeah.
but when she said it, my first reaction was like, yeah, it's really hot today, because it is really hot today.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know.
It's actually true because we've had a rainy summer, so actually maybe it's been so hot.
It's just, are we being manipulated?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is what it's given.
It's given Hunger Games.
It's given Hunger Games, it's given hierarchy, it's given all of that sort of stuff.
All of that. I don't, it's not a straightforward reporting.
This is,
I would say it's a warning, and yeah, they're making people aware of it. I don't think it's as deep as they're saying.
They're banning people's hose pipes. Yeah.
Cool.
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I've come to the conclusion that if there's any natural, I'm finished. I don't know how to do anything.
I run the shower just to get, like the first initial is like, ugh, so you need to get it the right temperature, but that's not as long.
No, I need the bathroom to be steamy.
However, I have been known to leave the tap running and go and do something, possibly forget, and like,
And then you go back and say, oh my God, yeah, I've done that.
Do you run the tap when you're brushing your teeth?
Yeah.
I turn it off.
Is that bad?
Because you're running the tap. Why?
I thought that was just more about wasting money than water.
I have no idea.
Here at this reservoir, it does look like we've got plenty of...
I'm sorry, You can't do bump up, breaking new drought, and then there's a lady in the trench coat in front of a river.
Hello, God. Do you mind just sending some rain down?
Sorry, quick question. Who's our water with?
Demz.
I just want to make sure that we're not with Southern, so they don't put some sort of restriction on our water. Because if that's the case, we can change that subscription ASAP.
100%.
I mean, you're hot, you're sweating.
100. Listen, I can't control.
They need
this,
some
innit?
of the water that's coming out of your scalp.
You just have to take everything they say with a grain of salt because, like, are you sure? Is it that important? Because you're not going to talk about it next week when something else happens. Do you know what I mean?
It's like a magic trick, isn't
Yeah.
it? They've got something over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting when she said the thing like, oh, it's like really hot. Can you remember the last time it properly rained?
Yeah.
It's like, well, yes, I can. And it did last week.
The imagery is the same, but then she's probably about to then say
Yeah, I know.
the level of it or something. But yeah,
That is the complete opposite of everything that she was just saying.
And that's why there are these crisis talks happening right now. And the last time we had a drought was just in 2018, so not that long ago. But the one probably a lot of people remember is the one of the 1970s, which was the hydrological drought. That's a similar...
Do you remember that one?
Are you implying that man's 85 years old?
Very interesting to me how they're trying to use history to show that a problem is getting worse.
Yeah.
Because to me, when I think critically about this, I'm like, they're saying there's a drought coming, but they've also pointed to the last drought. So clearly this is happened before.
interesting that we're having these conversations, obviously, about like potential droughts and stuff. But I mean, where I used to work, like we used to cover a lot of news in African countries, and a lot of countries like in the east of the continent were having droughts for time. And struggling and like with the crops and stuff. And it's so interesting that we're having this conversation because also like the privilege as well. Not everyone, obviously, like it's not even about like painting it in a bad light, but that level of care about climate change and how it impacts also the continents that and the countries that do the least impact on the planet. Now we're having these conversations, it's like, but actually there's certain countries that have been having droughts for time, and actually they're the least responsible or the least contributors of like, you know, why climate change and all these things are happening.
The UK can't handle anything. They said people without water for 3 days. There are people that don't... Do you know when my mom sent me to Nigeria? Do you know where I was going to have to go and get water from? I had to go and fetch water from the well. You know, like...
I wasn't allowed to use that in my country. I wasn't allowed. My mum's like, no, I'm not allowed to do that. My cousin had to do that. I can't. Yeah, I know the well. Yeah, I can't do that.
No,
Sorry.
babe, my mum said you will live this lifestyle. I had to go to the well that was down the road.
And then
I put the bucket inside the thing, attached to a rope.
Yeah,
you put it down, you now pull it up. When you now have to carry on your head and be going.
They shouldn't be banning water in this type of heat when they put energy prices up. So people that can't afford fans,
right?
Maybe they're taking multiple showers a day.
Or maybe they're in their garden in a little paddling pool with their kids, keeping the...
Yeah.
Bro, they're trying to make people burn.
Yeah. No.
That's mad. Yeah, that's bad.
They can't be doing this.
Yeah.
I do remember when in my youth, I don't think it was that one, but there have been throughout my youth the whole hosepipe ban.
I
managing
remember
water,
those.
but I don't know what we did. I don't remember my mum specifically say, okay, let's not do ABC.
We didn't really have a garden, so I don't think it affected us.
In that, and it was also like, don't water your plants, which is weird because plants and, you know, carbon dioxide? Am I saying that right?
I don't know.
What's the thing, photosynthesis? Oh gosh, please.
That's when sun
that sounds
converts
stupid.
into the plant and
all that stuff, the water, precipitation, I don't know.
Do you remember the 2018 drought?
I do not remember the 2018 drought.
And what happens when there's a drought?
Yeah, what even happens? They don't say that.
Because I don't remember them ever saying you can't use the water.
Yeah.
But maybe it gets close to that point. So we'll see.
Word on the Curb is building the biggest online community.
If you are between the ages of 16 and 34 and want to join the Curb community, make sure you join for
creative and casting opportunities and the chance to win money through research and surveys.
What are you waiting for? It's time to join the Curb community. Make sure you click the link in the description.
Do it now.
We saw those burst water mains on the Isle of Sheppey, which meant that some people were without water for 3 days. And, you know, Sky News was there covering that. We saw the impact that has on local communities. So a lot of advice has already been given to people about reducing water usage. Hard to do on very hot days, but just to be mindful of things like filling up inflatable pools in your back garden, for example. So hosepipe bans, just one of the many things that might come out of today's meeting.
The thing is, yeah, it's ignorant of me because my brain straight away went to this country would have to complain they're being so dramatic. But where she's just said that it's affecting local communities, because we live in the city,
Yeah.
we don't see these things, but like a water main bursting really does affect someone's life.
So is Rishi Sunak going to stop using all that water
Listen.
in his swimming pool, and everybody else that's got these massive swimming pools?
We need to see
because
what
if
these
that's the
people-
case, that's not fair.
It's the pools, isn't it?
I mean, but again, I feel like it's unrealistic.
We have done 3 pools with the boys.
So it's your fault.
They're talking. That's what
They're
you were
talking to them,
saying.
yeah.
They were
I should even send this, or maybe I should play this when I go home and blast it out.
blast it out so they can hear him. Yeah.
I think you're right by saying that. I just think they want us to be scared about something because hosepipe ban. And the thing is, it's most likely not going to happen.
But living in the city, I feel like we just, so many things we hear it, like everything's just like speculation and goes past our ears because nothing ever actually hits us because we live in the city.
It's true.
Whereas these people on the outskirts, in their communities, it really does affect them.
They were without water for 3 days.
You know what I mean? That's
Actually trying
mad.
to think about that is actually quite wild to actually.
Yeah.
We need to see what these people are doing. in
They
their
use
yard.
litres and litres and litres and litres, hundreds of litres in their swimming pool. And then you got poor Maggie with her little paddling pool from Lidl that she paid £12 for. And it all takes up, 2 or 3 litres, and you can't make your kids go in a paddling pool.
What I would say is stop. You see that?
Because it comes out of a hose pipe.
So are you worried about global warming?
Yes.
I am worried, but just on my personal well-being, no. It doesn't come into my brain on a day-to-day basis. But if I'm worried about the state of the world, then yes, I am worried.
Because I think something that I've been trying to figure out how we get black people, black countries, black leaders into the conversation. I rarely see us at the forefront of the G8s, the summits and all those type of things, talking about environmental protection. And I am worried. Are you worried, or is it too distant for you?
I feel like it's not going to be in my lifetime or my children's, so I'm not that worried.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't give a care for global warming. Everyone was like, recycle, global warming, oh my gosh, pollution, you shouldn't sit with your car idle. I didn't care. I literally didn't care. But you see, this summer, what did I say to you the day that it was 40 degrees? I said it's because of global warming.
I was in my house. You think I'm going outside? See, England heat, it's not the same as like other countries.
Yeah.
Here, it's almost like nasty.
It's sticky.
It's like the sun has the intention to burn you. I stayed in my house in the shade, and even then, am I bugging, or do you not feel like the houses in the UK were built to keep the heat inside?
They were.
I was on the verge of passing out.
It gets spoken about a lot, and I know that I think with some human beings, when it seems far away, even though it isn't, it can seem like it's not as important or not something on the pressing in your mind. But especially with that 40 degrees that we had, it's actually very intimidating because it's kind of like, what are you going to do? Escape the planet? Where do you can't escape. Like with COVID, we had to stay indoors, we had to isolate and that. Yeah. With a climate catastrophe, what are you going to do?
Yeah, once this earth is done, we're all done.
It's been mental. It's been so hot. I'm so unbearable. I can't even sleep at night.
I'm not affected. That's what it is. I haven't been affected other than the heat.
No, I think I'm worried.
Yeah.
I don't like the world crumbling in. I like nature. I think we need our trees. We need fresh air. I hate being in a space where the air is heavy, and obviously I have sensitive lungs. My daughter has asthma, my mum has asthma, so I think there's a direct correlation to the world being more filthy, polluted. But
do you think you can do anything about it?
That's the part that's scary, because it's like, what do you do?
We are going to start recycling. We're going to get an electric car. I started to care because it was so hot. So I don't necessarily care about global warming. I care about how it affects me, which is very, very selfish. But I care that we had 40-degree weather in muggy UK. It wasn't in Jamaica. There was no ocean breeze. It's definitely London, where there's loads of buildings, so wind doesn't go anywhere, and it feels like Satan is breathing in your face.
Yeah, I've been taking 3 showers a day in the heat waves. What about you?
Yeah, same, honestly. At least it's not hot water, but I guess it's not about that anymore, is it? The heat.
I think it's because we've not taken care of the planet throughout decades. So it's like, it's mad.
I think people think that we'll just be okay. I remember I saw someone on Twitter, and loads of people agree when they were talking about people just need to have faith in the earth. Like the earth is stronger than we think. Like it can take it. Like the world will adapt to these changing circumstances. And it's like this is why this is why when the oceans came and swept everyone out when Noah was around. This is why, because look what happens.
But do you recycle them?
Not really, no. But I'm worried though. I've got to start recycling.
You don't recycle, but don't worry. I can't lie, I'm the same. That recycle. In fact, no. Let me say.
I would say, I mean, one of the days it was hotter in London than it was in Jamaica and the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So, in saying that, it is a free holiday.
No, it's not, Adrian, because we live in an insulated building.
Babe, it's
There's
a free
no
holiday.
breeze. There's no breeze.
I don't have to pay
You
for
say it's a
Malia,
free
I don't have to
holiday.
go to Jamaica. We're here, we're
Adrian,
home, and we're
Adrian.
getting the sun.
In the sun,
Yeah.
when it was very hot, you laid on the bed,
Yes.
yeah, in your boxers, and you said,
Yes.
"Oh God, it's so hot. God, it's so hot." You prayed that there would be some breeze. So you want that
I
every
just want
day?
some breeze, but I'm okay. I'm okay. It's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's not the end of the world, man.
I think that people definitely shape the way that companies act. I think they're simultaneously actually making companies take ownership as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much of, like, I'm just sitting here being like, I don't know how much I even really believe that this is happening to the extent that it's happening. But I feel like they're definitely using people as a tool, but not majorly enforcing any rights. So I don't have a problem with it.
We're on this fast train to, technology development. It's going faster and faster and faster. How do we pause? We need a Wakanda dome.
I think that's why I'm not worried about it, because I don't feel that I personally can do too much to stop it. I think it's more on industry.
The industries
that
need
are
to.
actually polluting the world, but I'm consuming stuff.
I think they just tell us what they need to tell us. There's probably so much more that we need to know.
But if you look at even like the way that some of the people have acted, like even now, like with some of the health stuff that we have, without mentioning the name of said illness, like even people like not caring about that, like it makes me wonder, I mean, are people going to care about this type of stuff? I think it's not enough people, like, and people have been trying to tell us, but it kind of, I don't know, also when you have pressing issues like money stuff and that, sometimes it feels like that is not the most important thing, because right now I need to feed my family or my kids or whatever. But and also, this is gonna impact like the lower income people first. It's not like all the people that are rich and that they'll have their ways of holding it off or holding themselves off. But when people don't have money, they're gonna struggle.
And I feel like part of it is we've been speaking about it for so long.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger in school, I used to think that at least by now, like we'd be underwater.
Because I think, like, when we look at our home countries, the amount of stuff that gets dumped in Africa,
That's a problem.
that's a problem, and that's what worried. Like, we were talking about relocating and going back home, as it were, and our country's just
that's
a
a problem.
dumping ground. That shit I don't like.
Have you got any hacks in cooling down?
I saw the hack where you put like an iced bottle in front of a fan, but I just think we shouldn't do that. Do you know what I think? I think that you should sell what you have, round up like $250, go to Curry's and buy an air conditioning unit, because that's what I will be doing next summer. I did ask Adrian to buy me a Dyson fan.
No, not with
He
these
said
prices.
no. So I bought a handhold £20 fan, but next year I will be buying an AC unit.
What with the
I'm just letting you know.
with the constant increase in the
100%, bro. You better stack your money up.
Wow.
So, Demz, were you taught about climate change at school?
Probably, but I was probably sleeping.
I didn't learn about any of that.
I remember being in a class and it was being spoken about, but I have no recollection of what was said.
Because you was probably rampant in class.
Probably being funny.
Probably. Yeah, being the funny guy.
I think the government, they put a lot of pressure on like the individual when it comes to preventing global warming, which, yes, like we all should be working together, but it's also about the corporations that they allow the corporations, and then like they're the ones that are contributing the most.
Yeah.
And like, with the pollution that they do, they get away with it, and then they put it on us and say, oh, you keep recycling, use your paper straws and all that. Okay, fine, but you're letting half these people get away with what they're doing. I think it's not really a lot of pressure on them because they have financial interest in it.
Yeah, and also I think there's a lot to be said about like if we're all gonna do, we all have to do it. Like, cool, I've got paper straws, but Starbucks still have entire plastic cups with entire plastic lids. How does that make sense?
I'm gonna start recycling because it's true.
Yeah.
We should be worried about global warming.
It's true.
Where I live, if you don't separate your
Oh my God, that.
your rubbish out and put it in the recycle thing, you can get fines and all of that, and that's bull.
Yeah.
Because it isn't, like the recycling plant. Also, when you go past it, looks like a dumping ground. Like
Yeah.
it looks like landfill as well. So again, that's a hustle.
I think my recycling is enough. I don't have a car. I walk a lot. I get the bus and I recycle. That's it.
I actually work on the steering group for the Sustainable Recruitment Alliance, which has a bunch of really big companies involved in it. I think I feel empowered to a certain extent, and I'm learning more about this kind of stuff all the time, which is why I have my doubts. But overall, I'm still leaning in the direction of it's a positive. I think that we should be reducing our consumption of a lot of things.
The reality is you're in office. Right. You sort that out. That's not my job. So you're telling me I must do my 9 to 5 and then do your job also. No, you sort it out and then you just tell me what I need to do. They make enough.
They weren't doing it as much over previous years, but now they are definitely for sure. I think now I've seen with the, Greta Thunberg, all of that. Greta Thunberg, that little girl. Where's she from again? Where's Greta Thunberg from again?
Who's Greta Thunberg?
Oh my God, I should know this.
I think we can continue, obviously, to do our steps, our individual steps, but also it's basically like putting pressure on government, putting pressure on corporations and other organizations that are the larger polluters, like actually putting pressure on it and stepping on their neck, like being like, no, like what you're doing isn't okay and you need to do better, because it's not good enough. Like it actually needs to be that, and we all need to be able to kind of do that, even if sometimes it might feel inconvenient to us as individuals. We need to actually be like, do you know what, this corporation's actually taking the mick.
Yeah, I do think it's pressure, but I don't know what the government can do. I don't think the stuff that they're telling us to do is going to make any difference.
So they need to start governmenting.
Governing.
No, I said governmenting. I said what I said. Speak to the scientists and do what they need to do, because it's not my job to do that. It's not my qualification.
It's true.
I have to worry. Listen, the normal average person has to wake up their kids in the morning, send their kids to school, go do their job, make sure their kids are okay, come home, cook dinner, and then I must figure out how to sort out global warming. That's not in my job title, I'm sorry.
Thinking of when we watched Netflix Seaspiracy.
Yes, sir.
And it's like the pollution that is in the sea has very little to do with like household waste and is really like sea farming waste.
Exactly.
That's what's killing the earth. It's like, no, I
straw.
don't believe them at all. I would never pay a fine over recycling.
We need to stop letting companies get away with greenwashing. We need to stop letting them say okay, cool, we're doing this in the eco-friendly way, but then they've got entire factories that are doing the complete opposite.
Precisely,
we need to start making these companies come forward and have credentials and proof that actually show that they're doing these things, because it's all good putting out a tweet or doing a campaign where you're supposedly helping the environment, but that's all insignificant in the grand scheme. We need to see that you're actually doing things.
I would say stop using. You can't even. I was gonna say stop using cars. You can't.
But you can stop. Well, you can start using a certain type of car, like an eco one, which obviously now the government's now kind of putting into place.
Eco car. And what's the cost of that economic car? Yeah.
I don't really have any advice, but what I did notice was that I can't see the stars anymore. We just recently took a trip to Bournemouth and I could see stars. And when I got back here, I couldn't see any stars, and I found out that was due to the pollution. So maybe sitting in your car and idling, which is just sitting in the car with the engine on. I do that all the time for the AC, but maybe not having the engine on when you don't need it.
I think we just be conscious of because it's not, we talk about water drought, and I think, again, it's information, education, having those conversations and understanding that multiple buys and constant buys off an online clothing store where the stuff is cheap, and knowing that you're going to throw it away and know that stuff is just going to end up in a landfill in your back home country, especially, or another country that the West considers a third world country. Be more responsible. Do things like that excess. Try and curb your excess, because the excess is what's putting pressure on the world in itself.
Can I just face you real quick, Buster? Nah. Look at the fear of God on his face right now. He's like, big man, step back.